Hey, Saidu here. Now, welcome to another CCNA Cyber Ops labs. In this lab, we are going to use administrative tools to monitor and manage Windows system resources. Now, the required equipment for this lab is Windows PC, obviously, and with internet access. So you might not need the internet access. So the first thing is how to start and stop a particular process. So for the sake of this lab, we are going to see how to start a routing and remote access service. So basically what this service does is it allows the local device, like my computer now, to become a router or a remote access server. So first I'll head over to my control panel. So control panel, then I will click on network and sharing resources. So it should be here. So I would click on the adapter settings. So right now, these are the list of adapters on my system. Don't mind the numbers because there are many. I have like Ethernet, VMware, VirtualBox, and Wi-Fi. So what I want you to pay attention to is the numbers, like total numbers. Like if you check this, my connections here, there are 7 of them. I have like 7 adapters. So yours might be different. You might be only having one, might be having two, like Ethernet and Wi-Fi, or three, or something like that. So if I start the routing and remote access service, they should I should have another adapter here. Let me show you what I mean. Reduce the window here so that we'll see the additional adapter. So now I'll go to my control panel, then administrative tools. Here I'll find my performance monitor, double click to open. So let me enlarge this. So clicking on this performance monitor, you see shows you the performance of your computer. So and this window do have a button that you press to freeze or unfreeze the display. So first I would like to freeze it now, and if you right click on this free space, you should be able to see this clear. So I'll click on this clear to clear everything. So let me reduce this window. So I will now head over to my services from my administrative tools. So go to services. So you see these are a bunch of services that you can either start or stop on Windows depending on what you want to do. So now try to locate my routing and remote access service. So it's right over here. So if you check the status, under the status, this particular service is blank, meaning it is not running. So if you check the startup time, it's been disabled. So if you double click on this routing and remote service access, you see that the startup type is what disabled under the general tab. You find out the startup type is disabled. So what we want to do is change it to manual. So you can either change it from disabled to manual or automatic, so that this particular service will be like a kind of startup service. It will be starting by itself. The moment you on your computer, the service will also start. So but now we will just want to demonstrate how to start the particular service manually. So I will just click on this manual, click on apply. So you see that this start button is now active. Before it was inactive. So if I click on this, let me show you. I want to monitor this. So if you look at this, my network and sharing, that is my adapters. If you look at the list of adapters now, so the moment I click on this start, it should bring another adapter here. So let me refresh. So if you check now very well, you see that this one, it is an additional adapter. It is even labeled as an incoming connection. So if I click on OK, so after clicking the start, you find out that the stop and pause button are now active. So this button allows you to stop this particular service or pause this particular service. So, but now I'll click on OK. So I'll go back to my performance monitor. It's here. Then I'll freeze it so that it will record the performance. So if you want to check the report, so you can do that by clicking on this report. So this particular number may vary depending on your system. So but what it shows you is the processor information, processor time. So now mine is reading 11.333 seconds. So now if I go back to this remote services, and I want to monitor to view this as it happens. So if I double click on this and now I want to stop it, so I can either stop it here or pause it, or now just go back and change it from manual to disable. So click on apply. So now it's still running. So let me just, so I will now stop this particular service. So if you check very well, you see that, so that adapter is no longer visible here. So I'll click on disable and then click on apply and then OK. So now if you check this status, it is now back to where it was. The running process has disappeared and then the startup type is now disabled, just like how we met it previously. So basically that is how you start and stop a particular process depending on what you want to, what kind of task you want to perform on your computer. So generally any service that you want to start on your computer, just do some little research and see what that service is doing and how to use that particular service. So there are a bunch of services that you can utilize or you can use as an administrator on your Windows machine. But definitely before using any service or before starting any service, you should be able to know what the service is all about and how to use it properly. So now the next task to do is the computer management utility. So I'll go back to my done with this, go back to my control panel, go to the administrative tool, try to locate my computer management. So the computer management utility is right here. Double click it to open. Let me maximize this window. So this computer management window is like categorized into 3 sections. You have your system tools, you have your storage, this is the system tools, you have your storage, and you have services and application, depending on what you want to do. But what I want to show you here is the log, how you view logs on your system. So this one is event viewer. So if you now click on the down arrow to expand, so if I click on the Windows logs, you see this computer, there is application logs and number of event is on my system. Yours might be different. On my system, I have like 22,132 number of events recorded, particularly on the applications. And the size of this log is 16 MB. So that of security is like 28 more than the application, and the size is also more than that of the application. So you do have numbers to see. You have numbers that will help to tell what is happening on your system. So but what I really want to see is now the system. Now if I click on this system, you have the first event here having this the level of information and the date and time recorded, and the source. You even have your event ID and the task category, which is none right now. So but if you check the down pane, you should be able to see a kind of properties that generally tells you what that application is all about, on a little description on that particular information or that particular event. So now the first one, if I click on the first one here, so the description reads as the start type of the routing and remote access service was changed from demand start to disable. So if you remember very well, this is this is what we just did. We start we start the routing and remote access service, and from we change the startup type from disable to manual, and we just play around it. So now this is what it's telling you, and if you check the details, you should be able to see a lot of stuff. So for example, the parameter is routing and remote access. Then it's been changed from demand start to disable. Then from so you can even check your XML, which we don't have time for that now. Going back to this general tab, you should be able to see all the time this event has been logged. For example, right now here, this is today's date and the time, even the seconds. So you see the event ID, you see the level of event, which is informational, not error, not warning. So you see your computer and your computer name and all that. So if I click on the second one, you see different information. So this warning is just the description read as unable to connect the DHCP server. The automatic private IP address this will be assigned to dial-in client. Client may be unable to access resources on the network. So it's administrator, of course, to check what is happening, what has been happening on the system. So basically that is how you check event that has occurred on your system. The next task is to configure administrative tool. So now the goal of this is to be able to configure an administrative tool features and monitor how this affect your computer. So now I'll go back to my control panel and then administrative tool. We've seen this window before. Click on the performance window, double click to open. Now if I expand this window, now let's head over to this data collector set. Click on this arrow to open. So right click on the user define to define your own data collector set. So here you just name it, or this window is just showing or asking you how would you like to create this new data collector set. Do you want to create it from a template, or do you want to create it manually? So for the sake of this lab, I would like to create it manually, and then you just specify the name of this particular collector set. So right now I'll just use the name memory, and then logs. So I'll click on manual, then click on next to continue. So the other tab is what type of data do you want to include. So you have two radio buttons. The first one, it says create data logs, and you have options to choose from. Is it performance counter, event trace data, system configuration information, and other? So you can choose all, but for the sake of this lab, we'll be choosing one and click next to continue. So here it's asking which performance counter would you like to log. There are a bunch of performance data that you would like to log, all are available for you to log, but we'll be choosing one, and how we'll add that is by clicking on this add button. So I'm going to try to locate memory, and to locate memory. So here it is. So memory, now locate available megabyte. Yeah, this one. So we click on this and then add. So now I have successfully add this the available memory in megabyte. So I'll click on OK to continue. So now you have the option of, by default, this option or this sample interval is 15 seconds. So you can decide to change it from 15 seconds maybe to 15 minutes or anything like that. But for the sake of this lab, again, we'll be changing it to 4 seconds. So just change it to 4 seconds and then click next. So here it's asking where would you like the data to be saved. So I'll now select a particular folder, which is this this path log is located in my C drive. So I'll check that and click on next. So here is the last option. So you just need to create the data log. Here is asking you to create the data collector set. So I'll just leave it on default, run as default, and save, and on this save and close. And then I'll click on finish. So now if you check your performance monitor, you see that you have a new data collector. So if I expand this here, I have my data collector. So here, if you right click on this and check the properties, you should be able to see it. You can even decide to add some other parameters that you want to log here, but for the sake of this lab, we'll be only logging this available megabyte. So the other requirement for this is to change it from binary log format to comma separated log format. So if maybe you forgot where you save it, you can click on this file and check. This is the location where you save your log. It is in the C drive, my C drive, half logs, and this is the name of the directory or folder. So now click on OK. So now to initiate or force the computer to use some of the available memory, so open a browser. Now I have Chrome. Let me open it, and then say so now click on this black square square icon to stop the data collection. So I'll click on it. So I'll close this, then I'll go back to my C drive, which is here, and if you remember, the folder I saved my log is this path logs. So I do have two. Maybe this is the most recent one. I'll open the most recent one because I recorded two. So I'll open this. I do have it as the CSV, but I want to open it using Notepad. So I have something like this. So this record the time, or let me see, the date and the time, and then the available memory in megabyte. So at this particular time, which is today's date, and this time 7:55, so you have this particular available memory, and then because we set the interval to be 4 seconds, so the next interval we have this available memory. So the next one we do have available memory. So it will keep on logging the available memory in each 4 seconds, in every 4 seconds. So how do you delete this stuff? You can go back to your, let's say, administrative tools, go to my performance monitor. So if I click on data collector, I have user defined memory. So if I right click on this user defined memory, I should be able to delete it. So now it has been deleted from my performance monitor or data collector set. So just a recap, we've seen how to start and stop a particular service using the administrative tools, and then we've seen how to work with the computer management utility, where we saw how to check event viewer, the event particularly on your system, and then finally we saw how to create a user-defined data collector set. So I hope this video has been informative for you, and